Hello, everyone, and welcome to the newest episode of Adam's TV podcast, where we're talking about American Idol, the premiere. It's finally out. We finally got to the first ever episode of the new reboot or season 16. I'm not quite sure really what they're going with. We're just going to call it here season 16. I am your host, Adam Samuel, and I'm joined today by my awesome co-host, Eric. Eric, how you doing today?
I am doing great. How are you? This was a good premiere, I think, overall.
You think it was a good premiere?
Overall, but we'll get into more detail soon.
So there's a lot to cover here. There was a 2-hour episode. So much information. First off, I just want to ask you, how did you think? The most important question that came to me from this night was Katy Perry worth it? And I just want to throw it to you first. Was she worth it?
Here's the tough thing. I don't think anyone would be worth the $25 million. I think she is a definite step up over J-Lo. A definite step up. I liked her a lot.
We were saying the same thing about Nicki Minaj when she was around.
I know, and that's the thing. I don't like judging it based on the audition episodes, because Steven Tyler was great in the audition episodes. And so I don't think that it's really fair to judge based on until we get to the live rounds. Edited, they were all great.
So some other things before we just get to the actual contestants. I wanted to ask, what did you think about Luke Bryan? Did you think he did a good job?
He's going to clearly be the pushover of the panel, and we'll see if he gets better. And Lionel actually was the most impressive to me, because I had zero expectations for him being good, but he was pretty good.
On the topic of Lionel Richie, there was actually something that really stood out to me when I was watching the show. He was always standing, like randomly. Like people would just be walking in and he would always be standing. And I was thinking,
weird, but
did you notice that?
I did. I noticed they were standing up a lot. All of them were, but what are you gonna do?
All right. So those are the judges. I was kind of indifferent. I mean, I feel the show shouldn't be about the judges. It's really all about the contestants. So we have our intro and we run through our opening monologue about music.
We have to say Carrie Underwood as the narrator for the opening was pretty smart.
I knew it like right away. I was like, that's Carrie Underwood.
Yeah, it was really well done. I'm going to quickly comment on production. I missed hearing the theme song, and I missed seeing the Idol. I missed hearing the theme song, but we'll hopefully get there at some point. And the overall production of the show, I think, with the titles and everything, was well done today. So it did feel like an Idol episode from later seasons.
It did?
To me, it did, at least.
Yeah, I noticed something when they did the Idol logo. It was in the style of Disney. So, like, it was...
With the stars and stuff?
Yeah, there was the stars. It was like... You know what I mean? When they, like, did the...
It's still Disney-esque, yes.
It was very Disney. There were parts of it where they went a little bit overboard with the Disney. But I feel like that's a little bit more.
I know what part you're talking about.
I know we want to get to the contestants, but I just also wanted to touch on this because it's something that really stood out to me watching it. There was very little Ryan Seacrest. And I wanted to ask what did you think about that? Because there's been this whole controversy about Ryan Seacrest, and I feel like they're kind of letting it seep into the show a little bit. I feel like he was very edited down.
I felt like I'm going to reserve judgment on that, because I feel like for this episode, everyone knows that Ryan Seacrest is capable of hosting American Idol. We don't know if these 3 judges are capable of doing a good job. So I think we'll focus on more, if it's going to focus on a cast member, focus on the judges for the premiere, I think. Makes sense.
Okay. So we're going to go right on into it. We're going to break down the show. We're going to talk about the contestants. So first up, our first contestant of the night was 17-year-old Katie Turner. She has this intro package. She's very awkward. She says she was not popular. And she's actually skipping school to do her audition today. I have notes that she's just awkward, and more awkward. She sang an original song, and she has in my opinion, a very, very quiet voice. But I wanted to ask, what did you think about her?
Okay, so my notes, and I quote, "She's awkward as hell, but really likable. My type of personality." I don't think it was stunning in the original song, but I thought, like her personality, it was likable enough. And I think her voice is still likable enough. She's just good. She's nothing special or nothing stellar in my view, but she's good.
She reminded me. Do you remember the X Factor? There was
I definitely remember the X Factor.
There was a girl on the X Factor who like had the exact same look, like the hat, the glasses. She did like House of the Rising Sun. She was like top.
Danny Geimer.
Yeah, I think that was her name. She reminded me a lot. What? What?
With Alex and Sierra that season?
Yeah, that was it.
Yeah, I remember this girl. She was really good.
She reminded me exactly like her.
But she flamed out like
really.
16.
I feel like she's good. She definitely has like raw talent going for her.
She has potential.
I just don't know how versatile she is for the American Idol game. I feel like she is someone who should take notes from like our podcast about like bad advice and learning and trying to figure out what kind of songs to perform, because I feel like she's a very easily bussable person on the show.
Here's the thing. Know what I'm thinking of actually when I think of her? Joey Cook.
Really?
I think very, very similar personality, very similar lack of versatility, at least at first, but what my perception is. Hopefully, like Joey Cook, she can have a few moments.
She's actually been having quite a few moments off the show. She is one of the most vocal contestants that I've noticed off the show on Twitter. She's been tweeting up a storm. She actually followed me, which is actually pretty cool. She's, of all the contestants, I think she's the most on point with her social. Like, I feel
That's a good thing to be.
That is definitely a positive in her favor, because she's very engaging. People will want to root for her. People will want to root for you if you're willing to give them some attention and want to talk to them. And I think she has a lot of potential to build up a strong fan base for herself.
I totally agree. I think she has a ton of potential, and I really do like her personality. So we'll see. I just hope her voice is a little stronger as we go on.
Yeah, and she gets 3 S's. She's on to Hollywood. So let's move on to the next contestant of our night. His name is Ron Boltanges, and I'm starting to notice there's a lot of emphasis on these intro packages, because he has another really lengthy intro package where they really fleshed out his story. He has this really heartbreaking story where he had an abusive father. He was kicked out of his house. And this was, from the way they were talking about him, you could kind of tell what they're going for. Like, he's obviously not going to be a bad singer, or that's what they kind of are leading you to think. And he sings Let It Go by James Bay. And I personally didn't think he was that great. I think Michael Slezak, who is a popular...
You beat me to it. I was going to say, okay. Literally, my first thought was the enunciation is a problem. If I didn't know the lyrics to the song already, I would have never understood what he was saying. So I wasn't sure if it was just my TV not sounding good or something else. But the fact that Slezak heard it too makes me realize that, yeah, problem. So
he actually, I'm sorry. Go on.
That was it for me. That was my comment.
He actually gets 2 no's from the judges, and he's actually cut. And in some,
for some reason,
Lionel, I think it was Lionel Richie.
Yes, Lionel's one who flipped. Again, Katy Perry doing a good job for once. Yeah, not for once. Who knows? Katy Perry got it right. That guy deserved to know.
Well, it doesn't matter, because they bring him back and they reverse their opinion, and now he's going to Hollywood.
Don't say they. Say Lionel. Don't buff Katy.
I feel like Katy would have said yes, just because it's like the moment, and they're like, yeah, let's bring this guy back. But yeah, he gets through. I don't even know how. He's just going to Hollywood.
Yep.
Anything else you want to say about Ron?
I'm good for now.
All right, let's move on to a contestant who I actually thought was one of the standouts of the show, in my opinion. Her name is Maddie Pope. We only got a really small snippet of her. She's 19 years old. She sings The Rainbow Connection. And in my notes, I just wrote, very good.
I wrote, nice voice, good falsetto. She's good, not stellar, but good. Actually, the fact that her voice kind of sort of reminds me of a lesser version of this year's X Factor runner-up. Speaking of X Factor, Grace Davis, sort of similar, but not quite as unique in my view. But yeah.
Anything else? We didn't get a backstory from her, which is
we did not
rare in the night.
They played her singing over a couple other people, and then they played her, and then done. They've had a couple of auditions in the past. I don't get it. Why would you give some people backstory and not everybody?
It's favoritism. Damn it.
Yes, that is exactly what it is, but it's still stupid.
Anyway, so we move on to our fourth auditioner of the night. It is, I don't really know how her name is just Kobe, and she is a massive theater person. She has a very loud personality. She's very, very confident, and I could tell from the first 10 seconds where they were going with this, because they were describing her, they were going through her song and dance and what she does, and I was like, I already, before she even sang, I felt so bad for this girl because I felt like I knew it was coming.
My question was, were we going to cut her tonight, or were we going to cut her in Hollywood Week? Because, yeah, the edit was not favorable. And as I was telling you on Twitter earlier, I don't know what the heck they were telling her before this tonight, but the way they build these contestants up and then just destroy them all at once, it does bug me. And the one thing I wish they learned from A Voice was to stop doing that, but they didn't learn that.
The thing is in between her very loud voice, I actually thought she wasn't awful. Like, I feel like she probably was just having like a really bad day, but I felt like there was some potential. Like, she was going nuts with her like vocal gymnastics, and maybe a little bit more.
Here's what I wrote.
What?
She has pipes. She has no idea how to use them.
I feel like she's not a terrible, like, she's not an idol singer, but she's not a horrible. Like, she could get to a point where she could be okay.
Technically, she has the ability to sing. She didn't use anything right. She was going to, it was like, the analogy I would use is like, if you're driving, you could either go like, you could lightly press the pedal like everyone does when they're more experienced, or you could slam on it and go straight into a wall. And that's what she did.
That is what she did. I actually really felt bad for her because
I did too. I mean, they did. She did have to say all the things she said, but who knows what they were setting her up to do? So
not only that, they really buried her. Like, the edit was really not favorable, where she was going back and forth.
It was bad, yeah.
Because I know what these people.
It was kind of uncomfortable. So
you were uncomfortable.
Pretty much.
Yeah, because you as fans of the show, you know, like, what these people are put through, and building up to their audition, they're told, "Oh, you're so good, you've got so much potential" by the producers, and then they snatch the rug from under them and make them look like a fool. And that's what I felt. I felt like she left looking like a fool, and that's the one thing I'm not a fan of The Voice, but that's the one thing I really appreciate of them, is that there's no bad moments. And American Idol, this was kind of a bad moment.
100% agreed. Okay, Harper Grace.
We're going to Nashville. We have our first Nashville. She is 16 years old. She's a super fan, and she has this really. She had one of the most moving kind of backstories for me a little bit.
The national anthem thing, right?
Where she sang this national anthem. It got very bad reviews. She was very embarrassed, and I
liked her. I thought she was good.
I actually really liked her too. She was a Disney girl. She was one of those girls where they had the product placement, because she had this dream board, and I was looking at it really quickly, and it said everything. There were like a bunch of points that had to do with Disney otherwise. Like, one of the bullet points was have a show on Disney. Like, there was a very.
Oh, that I didn't even notice that. You picked up on that.
I got that really quickly. So she's a Disney girl, but that all aside, I think she's actually a pretty strong singer. I was happy for her. She's a huge super fan of the show, so I feel like those moments make me feel good. Like, I'm happy for her. I feel like this is good for her.
Yeah. I thought she was really likable. The setup was great. Her voice was the best of the night up to that point, in my view. Yeah.
So I could just, while I was watching this, there was a small part of me like, what if she gets to the top 24 and bombs and like history repeats itself and she's like, I have these bad thoughts. Anyway, so let's keep going. We're going to move on to contestant 6 of the night. We have Layla Spring. She's 16 years old and looks nothing. She looks like she's like a little kid, which
she looks 12.
Looks 12. She is a farm girl, and she sang with her little sister, whose name was Dixie.
And she was adorable. But I actually did find it. I thought I was like a little bit too much cute for me, but I found her adorable. She picked a really big song.
It was Blue, right?
What?
Blue, was it? I think.
No, it wasn't Blue. It was
No, when they sang together.
Oh, that was irrelevant to me. I'm talking about her whole performance.
We're talking about Dixie first. She was the star of this.
I'm going to Hollywood in 2026. That was the best line of the night.
I always love those moments because I always have like this back of my mind, like, what if Idol's still around and we actually see her back? Which would always be like, it's probably never going to happen, but it's always like, that would be such a cool moment to like imagine them actually coming. Like, remember there was this little girl who sang Let It Go?
I'd say at this point, Idol should be praying that they can let people to Hollywood in 2020. That's what they should be hoping for.
So I'm sorry I interrupted you, but moving past Dixie's incredible performance, we're going to go to her actual song of Who's Loving You by the Jackson 5, and you could take it from here.
Okay. So if anyone wants to see how this song is supposed to be done, Google Louisa Johnson's X Factor audition from UK. That's how you're supposed to nail this song. I don't think Layla picked such a big song, and I've heard so many versions of the song done so spectacularly well. I was a little underwhelmed. I thought she was good, but that song, I just had so many good performances for that song in the past.
It's funny. I was actually going to say Jackie Lee from The Voice.
That's another one. She also did it great. Louise actually is very similar to Jackie Lee, so for what's worth.
So, just for my opinions on this performance, I wrote, this performance was cutesy, and the song isn't cutesy. I feel like this is a song that's best when the singer's willing to get ugly with it, to like really just dig deep into the song and like just absolutely go nuts. And I feel like her performance is very like, yeah, like it needed that extra punch, and her vocals weren't the best for this song. It needed a voice that could do more things than what she was able to. I'm trying to say that a little nicely. I still think she was good. I just think
she was good. She was good.
This was not
the wrong song choice. Wrong song choice.
Wrong song choice. But so I actually wrote, I would actually say no, but you're still talented, but come back in like maybe a year.
You see, I actually would say yes. I didn't love it, but I think that if she picked better songs for herself, she would have been fine.
All right. Well, they actually ended her audition on a cliffhanger. And when I saw that, I was like, oh, that's going to be the 1 and 2. They're going to actually let her go. But she actually gets 3 S's. It's a bait and switch. She goes right through.
I knew she was going through. There was no way in hell they were sending her home after seeing that kid.
I mean, she's pretty good.
Okay.
Anything else you want to say about her?
Nope.
All right. Now we're moving on to Benjamin Glace, or was it Glass? Glace? I think it was.
I didn't write down his last name.
Well, it's Benjamin.
I didn't have to.
And he is a cashier. He says he wanted to become a cashier because he thought it would help him pick up women. He describes himself as very awkward. He says he is. I'm just trying to see. He says he's never been kissed, which he says something that like some people were calling him a Mormon, which is really weird because he says, oh, you have to be in a relationship to kiss girls. So regardless, Katy Perry actually offers to be his first kiss, which was this really, really adorable moment where they actually kissed.
I laughed. Actually, I laughed. It was pretty funny.
I thought it was really adorable. I was.
When she turns her head, I thought that was pretty funny.
I felt happy.
It went on too long, but I thought it was funny at first.
I wrote down as I was watching the kiss. I wrote, well, he better not suck after that, or this is going to be really awkward. And lo and behold, that was actually exactly what happened. He wasn't awful, but he wasn't that great.
They weren't horrible. His vocals were not horrible, but at best mediocre.
There was actually a lot of Twitter people who were commenting on the audition. There's one person who said producers probably told him a billion times to talk about girls during his audition. And I feel like that was a running trend with the show tonight. There were a lot of people who, like, they had their story and then they followed through into the audition. Like, you know, the producers are constantly probably harping on the contestants to keep talking about them. And,
yeah,
you know, I don't like it, but I kind of get why it's done. But anyway, he gets no's, and I wrote that this is actually the best way that they say no, because he left and they were very gentle with him, and I feel like that's the way that if you're going to say no, that's how it should be done.
Exactly.
He left with, what's the word,
a kiss from Katy Perry.
He left with a kiss from Katy Perry, but he didn't leave feeling like a fool. He left feeling like confident, like it was a good experience. Like he's probably going to look back on this and go, it was a good
funny.
The other girl, Kobe, is not going to look back on this and think this was a good time. And I like the happy stories, even if they're bad. I can at least appreciate when they're not going to embarrass people.
Nico,
you want to go? Oh, you want to talk about Nico?
I'll go first.
You go first.
Okay, so I hate joke auditions. I'll preface it by saying that I did laugh at this one. I hate myself for laughing, but I laughed quite a bit. Go ahead.
He was in on it, right?
I sure as hell hope so.
I was watching this. I was like, this guy is totally into it. Like he knew. I got the impression from watching that he knew he was a joke audition, and he's like, well, I'm going to help you guys. I'm going to give you guys a laugh. And I actually really appreciated it. I'm not quite sure the name of the song, but it has a lot to do with eating worms. I think it's like a classic American song because I was like,
whatever it is, I'd never heard it before. And the song itself was funny. And then the fact that just playing guitar, brought his guitar amp in, it was pretty good. I'll give him that.
I was a fan. Like I said, it's because I felt like he was in on the joke, and he knew that this wasn't like comparing him with Kobe. Like he recognized his role, and he wanted to give us a show. At least I hope. Otherwise, it's gonna be really awkward.
Yeah, I feel really bad for him if he didn't know.
He had like an androgynous look, like he was wearing I think he was wearing lipstick. Was he? Or was that just me? I think I couldn't tell.
I don't know. Moving on.
Moving on.
Yeah, right. I'm good. I laughed. I hate myself. Moving on.
All right, moving on. No, you want to open it up? You want to introduce the next one, or do you want me to?
Noah Davis. Really good, actually. But he was, I think, overall the second best of the night. When Katy Perry was like laughing at him for liking alpacas, I actually found that funny. But yeah, I thought he had a good voice. I think if he doesn't make it, it'll be because of his image, which is a shame. But go.
I wrote he doesn't have the appearance of a star, which is a little bit unfortunate because I do think he has a good voice. He kept bringing up wig. What does wig mean? I don't actually know what it means. I know like it's like the wig snatching, but like what does just regular wig mean if you say it? You know? I don't know either. Anyway,
I don't know. I'm assuming I'll be happy that I don't know. I'm assuming I'm better off living not knowing that.
He does Stay by Rihanna, and like I said, it was
good.
I think you liked it a little more than I did. I thought it was okay, but
I thought it was okay too, but I think compared to most of the other ones before him, I thought it was okay. Above average.
Like on a night like tonight where we didn't have that incredible performances, in my opinion, I feel like he did a lot better like on a curve, kind of.
That's exactly how I'm doing
it. Well, anyway, we come to our next contestant, who I'm going to make a fool of myself trying to pronounce her last name, but I'm going to try. Alyssa Raganendez? Is that right?
I'm just going to say Alyssa because it's not my show, so I don't have to pronounce her last name.
Anyway, she is a huge Disney fan. She's 15 years old. She says, Disney is life.
I
Um,
literally said synergy as loud as I possibly could when I was watching this. I'm like, oh, it's at Disney World. She has Disney fans. Oh, it's perfect. It's just so corporate perfect.
I wrote down totally not product placement.
Yep, pretty much. But she was good. She was good. Not stellar again, but good.
She does Almost Is Never Enough by Ariana Grande with a guitar. She brought a guitar in for some reason and
And then she
never
never
used
played
it.
it.
What?
And then she didn't play it, right?
Yeah, I feel like those are always like she did a first song with the guitar and then they asked her for the second one and they just pretended the first one was the second one. No, they pretended the second was the first.
Which is a little weird because then you think they'd added out the guitar somehow, but they couldn't, I guess. Whatever.
I guess no, because she had the guitar she plays, and they said,
I know. Then she put it down. You think someone on production would be like, "Hey, put that over where we can't see it, so that we can edit this down."
Well, anyway, she gets really emotional during this performance. She's at the end. She starts sobbing, and she's through to Hollywood, and it's a perfect Disney moment, don't you think? It's feeling very perfectly Disney.
Mm-hmm. Okay, now let's talk about David Archuleta.
David Archuleta.
He sounded exactly like David Archuleta when he was talking.
Oh, the next guy? We're moving on?
Yeah.
You want to try and pronounce his name?
Zach D'Onofrio.
No, we missed one.
Did we?
Sardor Minaro. He was a joke audition. I don't have that many notes about him. Parts of his voice were okay, but he was just a joke audition. Do you remember him?
No.
That's awkward.
I didn't write anything down about him, so.
He was really quick. Well, anyway, we'll move right on along to Zach D'Onofrio. You want to open him up? You want to talk about him?
Okay. So he sounds like David Archuleta when he talks, and then he sings, and he sounds like Frank Sinatra. And the contrast stood out. It was insane. I wasn't gonna forget the audition. Having said that, to sing a Sinatra style song, you have to have a boatloads of personality, and he doesn't. So, I mean, at least he didn't show it in this audition. Maybe he does have personality. I didn't see it here, but yeah, I think that he probably won't go too far because for the style of singing he does, it relies on personality.
I actually think the most interesting thing about him was that he's a sock collector.
Okay. Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
It can be whatever. I don't know.
I'll interpret that as a good thing. I'll be nice.
He actually came in bringing for the judges. He brought them socks, which I mean, I could always use more socks, but I don't know why he really felt the need to bring them unless, the producers were probably whispering in his ear all the way into the room, bring the socks, bring the socks.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just say he's okay. He's pretty good, very awkward. He's a little bit, I feel like we've seen so many of these like kroners where they come in and they.
More on American's Got Talent
I don't know.
than Idol, though.
He was okay. That's a really good point. He reminds me of an America's Got Talent act. Sal, basically. So
except Sal had personality. That's the difference.
Sal did have really good personality. He was also on Idol first, which was why I was supporting him.
Yeah.
Anyway, so what else you want to say about what?
On to Dennis now?
Before we get to Dennis, there's actually we have Grace Walker. I think her name is Walker. She sings Paris Ooh La La, and she basically sets off a string of montages of cuts. And I don't like these. They make me sad. I don't like watching people like feel really sad throughout their audition. But
I will say I like it better than giving people false hope.
Yeah, I feel like they were very gentle. Most of them were kids, and like
they were very gentle. I think they handled it well.
What?
I think they handled all the cuts pretty well, with one exception earlier. But
All right, so the next contestant is the one that you thought was the performer of the night. You want to
by a mile?
Thoughts about
him? Dennis. He had obviously a sob story, but it turns into like an inspirational story by the end. It hit me like a train when he said his dad was murdered when he was 5. Really sad upbringing, but the good news is he could really sing. His falsetto was gorgeous in my view, and I can't wait to see more. I think it's going to go very far.
He has they really they spent a lot of time introducing him, and I thought he was okay. I mean, I feel like his story is most of his packet, like the thing they're going to try and push with him. I mean, he was okay.
Here's my thing. I might have been more excited about him than I would have been if there were other great acts tonight, but grading on a curve, I think he was really great.
So those are actually all the contestants of the night. And now I just want to pass it off to you, and I want to ask top 2 of the night. Who was the best?
Dennis, number 1. Tough. I actually say Noah, number 2.
Noah? Well, for me, I'm actually going to go Maddie. I thought she was pretty good. Can I say Nico Bones?
You can, and I won't accept that as a real answer, but you can say that.
All right, so we'll skip Nico Bones. I'm gonna say, you know what? I'm gonna say Maddie and Katie. I thought they were the best of the night.
Okay.
All right, so at this point,
they were 3 and 4 for me.
They were 3 and 4. Wow.
For me.
Well, you're 1 and 2 or 3 and 4 for me.
Okay.
So now I want to open the floor. We're going to start talking about some spoilers for the season.
Before we do, in case anyone drops off.
I'm sorry. Go on.
In case anyone wants to quit and not be spoiled, I think we should plug our stuff. I'm Eric _Ascher on Twitter. Fox.ericascher.com is my website. And Adam?
So I am Adam Samuel. You could find me on Twitter at Adam Soapbox. It's one word. I also have my website, Adam's TV blog, and my personal website, Adam Soapbox. You can check out both. If you do, it would be awesome. And I just want to say really sorry to Eric because I totally forgot that I was supposed to do that before we go to spoilers. So thank you so much for that. Anything else before we get on to spoilers?
I think we are good. Spoilers time.
This is your spoiler warning. Everyone who does not want to be spoiled, be gone. We're going to
see you soon.
We're going to be going into the spoiler contestants of this season. So we're actually going to start with, we're going to talk about everyone who made from this episode who advanced to the top 24. We're going to start there. So of our contestants tonight, the first one to make it was Alyssa Raghunandan. She was the Disney contestant. And what do you think about this turn of events?
Not surprising.
Not surprising.
Honestly, I'm just gonna say that all of the top 24 people who made top 24 did not surprise me, except for one person who did and one person who didn't.
We actually had a lot of people from this episode who made the top 24, which really...
We did. One of them surprised me that didn't. One of them surprised me that did.
So our next contestant to make it was Katie Turner, who I was happy. I'm rooting for this girl. I like her a little bit. She's good.
I'm not surprised at all about her.
Not surprised?
Nope.
All right. Who else? So we also had, Layla Spring. What do you think about her?
I think good. Good for her. She made the top 24.
She did make it. I think those are all the girls.
Nope.
Did I miss one?
Maddie Pope.
Oh, yeah. What am I thinking? Maddie Pope, who's another favorite of mine. She did really good. I'm really happy. She's actually in the pre-show, leading up to the actual airing. There was a lot of news about previous contestants from The Voice who made it, and she was actually the only one who actually advanced to the top 24, which was surprising to me. But good for her. She deserves it. She was really good. Mm-hmm. So now we're going to move on to the guys from tonight. The people who made it were Ron Boltanjas.
That's inexplicable to me. But
inexplicable?
Yeah.
I feel like they're going to be building this up to something.
I would hope so. If it doesn't get better than that, it's a mistake.
They're really going to. I feel like that's someone they're going to be really putting a lot of attention to.
Okay.
Is that it?
No.
Why do I not? Who else? Who am I missing?
You're missing Dennis.
Oh. Dennis. I'm sorry. Dennis also made it. Not surprising. I feel like people are really going to like him. I feel he has he's a good shot. I feel like people are going to be really. He's someone people would feel good about rooting for.
I'm on
So
that boat.
what?
But when I'm shocked, Noah didn't make it, which is astonishing to me.
I thought he did make it. I think he made top 48 or something. He's probably going to be one of the last cuts at the
Before the top
down.
24, which is still stupid. I think, but if a couple other people, if Ron makes the top 24, Noah should definitely make it.
Yep, but that's just
how it all works.
Not even worse. One of the things I hated about the last season of American Idol to air, season 15, was the format. And unfortunately, it looks like we're going back to that format. But we're not only are we going back to that format,
we're making it worse.
But they filmed what?
We're making it a little worse.
They did the top 24 to top 14 cut way early, and I feel like that puts a bit of a dampen on the hype, because I don't like when we're told who to vote for, and we went from 24 to 14, and now we only have 14 to choose from, and it's going to follow the season 15 format. We're gonna lose multiple. What do you think about sticking with the season 15 format?
It could be worse. It could be X Factor Australia's last season format, but yeah, pretty bad, pretty sucky.
We're actually going to now talk about 14 from tonight. The first person,
Dennis.
Are you ready?
Yep, Dennis.
Dennis made it.
Yep, no surprise there.
He's got a shot. I feel like I'm just thinking more about him, and I think he has a lot of potential to build up a fan base for himself.
Yeah,
and he could do well.
I think he could as well. Second, Maddie.
Go Maddie.
Yep.
I like her. She's good. She can make a run at this thing. I don't think she'll win, although I'd love to. I mean, we're basing this off such a small sample size.
We've seen one performance. We have no idea yet.
Yep.
And then Katie Turner.
Those are the only 3 people made it from this episode, and
there are only 14 spots in the top 14. So considering our 6 audition episodes, 3 is a pretty good number.
Yeah, it's pretty. So of the 3, how do you? Well, we actually already did it. So I was going to ask how you rank them, but I could already guess
Dennis
it's going to be
1,
Dennis.
Maddie 2, Katie 3.
I'm going to do Maddie, Katie, Dennis.
Okay. We will see.
So yeah, that's actually all we've got for tonight. Anything else you want to bring up, Eric? Any points you want to make?
Nothing else right now to add. I think it was a good premiere, solid, lots of potential for some acts, lots of potential for the judges' chemistry. I'm excited.
You're optimistic.
And I think we should also say that we're going to be going live either tomorrow or Tuesday. I may or may not be there, but you could follow Adam on Twitter or me on Twitter, and we'll keep you updated about when we're going to tape the next episode. So
I will be providing updates about when we're going to do the next episode. It's either going to be tomorrow, right after the show, or the day after, sometime in the middle. I'll be getting the news out about what is officially the deal. Last thing I want to ask, Eric, give me a grade. What was the episode?
I'd say a B+.
I'm gonna go B-, actually. I love American Idol, but there was just, for me, none of these people were that memorable. I feel like for me, the basis of making a season fun is having the returning contestants, and that's kind of the base that you could build your hype over, because these people. These people, I don't know any of them. They've just fallen out of the sky. There's not that one person where I'm gonna go I'm looking for you in the crowd. I'm rooting for you. No one here really gave me the I'm gonna really root for you or support you, and we'll see. This isn't the show's fault. It's just how things are going this season.
Yeah.
Anyway, thank you guys for joining us. We hope you had fun watching or listening, however you're following along with us. I just want to say, hope you guys have a good night. Thanks again. Eric, any final thoughts?
Peace out.
Peace out, guys. Have a good one.